the Speaker does not have absolute superiority over the rest of the chamber. He does not. And many people there were already saying we need to have a parliamentary system. Nagkakaroon ng certain kayabangan ng marami sa kanila na gusto na i-block ang any attempt to make even one small slight change sa Constitution. Sinusupalpal yung mga efforts ng mga taong bayan katulad ko.
She's not a lawyer, she's not a politics expert. She just wants to ask from you a very short summary daw ng advantages and disadvantages of constitutional reform or charter change.
Okay. Actually, there are really so many pros.
You mentioned, di ba, foreign investment, the others.
Yes.
Can you?
There's so many pros. I mean, number one, we need to change our system. That's the truth. We need to upgrade our system. We need to change it. Luma na talaga ang sistema natin. So, matagal nang kinakailangan baguhin yun. In fact, hindi lang sa luma, pero mali. Nagkamali sila. During the 1986 Constitutional Commission, they were choosing between the presidential and parliamentary system. And many people there were already saying we need to have a parliamentary system because it's better. It was already coming out. The findings of the superiority of the parliamentary system were already coming out in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. No? But then, some people there said, hindi kasi sanay tayo, we're used to the presidential system, so let's go with it. And then, nagkaroon ng botohan, by one vote lang.
Natalo by one vote lang.
One vote lang. Naging presidential tayo, kahit na ba mas maganda pala talaga ang parliamentary system. So yun ang, yung ganyan, kinakailangan talagang baguhin.
May tatlong na tanong dito na they like your ideas now. They're listening to your idea. They like your arguments about need for charter change. Ang problema, sabi nung iba, the controversy daw, it's because the one supposedly pushing this good idea daw is a controversial politician daw, sabi nung isa. May nagsabi dito na taga-media na si allegedly Speaker Martin Romualdez na supposedly controversial. What is your comment and recommendation to the public about this?
Okay, I urge everybody to stay away from personality politics and to please first understand how the House of Representatives works. Okay? Number one, the Speaker does not have absolute superiority over the rest of the chamber. He does not. He's only one person with one vote. He is only a primus inter pares, first among equals. So, in reality, if you really look at it, hindi naman siya talaga ang nag-push nito. Who pushed for it? Ang nag-push nito, una, last year pa, ay yung House Committee on Constitutional Amendments headed by Rufus Rodriguez. And hindi lang si Rufus Rodriguez, maraming iba't ibang mga kongresista ang tumulong dyan. Congressman Richard Gomez, si Stella Kimbo, si Joey Salceda, ang dami-daming, si Pido Garbin, ang dami-daming mga taong tumutulong dyan. Okay, sa
Matatalino yung mga minention mo.
It's a collective effort in the committee, no? And then hindi lang sa committee, nung pinakita nila sa plenaryo, mga overwhelming, parang the whole chamber except for 7 people voted for it. Gusto nila na magbago ang konstitusyon. Last year 'yun. Pero pagdating sa Senado, 4 lang ang gusto. Si Senator Tolentino, Senator Bato, Senator Bongo, at saka si Senator Robin Padilla, nakilala ko. Last year pa sinusulong yan. Last year pa. Tapos nasupalpal ng Senado kasi nakulangan sa votes. Rules nila is that kung meron kang pinapasa ngayong year na to, tapos hindi napasa, pwedeng next year try again. Ito po yun yung try again na yan. Kasi tinry nila last year, hindi gumana. O try again ngayon. Bakit? Porket nagkaroon ng kontrobersya na, hindi ninyo gusto yung taong to, hindi niyo gusto, susupalpalin ninyo yung buong panukala. You're gonna throw away the baby with the bathwater?
So last year pa to kasi
Last year pa to.
you were one of the resource
I was one of the resource persons in the hearing. So many other people went there. Sinusupalpal yung mga efforts ng mga taong bayan katulad ko na OFW na pumunta dun sa house para magbigay ng inputs. 'Di ba? Parang dahil lang sa ayaw ng ibang tao sa isang tao, na iisa lang ang boto, na kung tutuusin, yung posisyon na yan ay replaceable. Replaceable ang speaker. Bakit? Nung panahon ni Duterte, ilan ba yung mga naging speaker natin? Di ba 4? Di ba dati si Alvarez, Speaker Alvarez, tapos nag-change si Speaker GMA.
Oo.
And then after that, nagkaroon tayo ng bago si Cayetano. And then after Cayetano, si Velasco. 4.
Apat pala in one term.
Oo, nagkaroon tayo ng maraming speaker nung time na yun. So ibig sabihin, pag speaker ka, hindi porket speaker ka ngayon, speaker ka forever or during the whole 6-year term. Hindi eh.
So it's actually more democratic.
Yeah,
You're not stuck with
you're not stuck. That is a position that is replaceable. Pwedeng matanggal, pwedeng magkaroon ng reshuffling na magbabago. Baka next month, baka may pagbabago. So, kontra pa rin kayo sa constitutional reform dahil o ayaw nyo, yung taong ayaw nyo wala na pala diyan. I mean, ito yung sinasabi ko, huwag kayong maging masyadong naka-focus
Sa
isang tao lang. Kasi the way things work in Congress is one person, one vote. Hindi yung dahil nandun siya sa posisyon, kaya niyang ipataw yung kanyang kagustuhan dun sa iba. Hindi. That's not how Congress works.
We have a question here. Ang tanong nila, ano yung tinatawag na People's Initiative? Yan ba? Tapos, can you summarize it lang? And the other options and what is going to happen now based on your analysis? May chance ba? How do you foresee this effort now?
So according to Article 17, there are 3 modes of changing the Constitution. The first one is a constituent assembly. Constituent assembly that requires a 3/4 vote of both houses. Problem is, hindi nakasulat dun sa ating Constitution kung jointly or separately ba ang gagawin.
So what will happen?
So, the People's Initiative, so that's the first one. The second one is Constitutional Convention. No? Constitutional Convention, when you convene a Constitutional Convention, you're basically saying, okay, we're going to call for an election where we will have ordinary people from different districts running to become delegates. And those who win, they will become delegates to the Constitutional Convention and they will give their inputs to create a new constitution.
Parang kongreso pero hindi sila congressman.
They're a parallel Congress.
Wow.
Parallel Congress composed of non-congressmen.
Wow.
Okay?
Number 3.
Number 3, People's Initiative.
Yun nangyayari ngayon.
Yun nangyayari ngayon.
Ano
Now,
yun? Paki-explain.
so People's Initiative, it's basically coming from ordinary people. So as we know, it's coming from PIRMA. PIRMA is the same group from the 1990s time ni President Ramos that were pushing for changes to the Constitution. Itong grupo na to matagal na silang nagsusulong nito.
Ilang percent kailangan nila makuha?
12%. 12%.
Of how many?
12% of the entire Philippines, if I'm not mistaken.
The voting population or the whole population?
Of the voting population.
Which is?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yes. So, ito, may natanong. Based on your analysis and chismis na rinininig on, siyempre maraming lumalabas sa balita, may chance ba mangyari itong the third option or it can be blocked by the Senate? Kasi nakita ko yung news 2 days ago all over the headlines. All the senators unanimously oppose this. Can they block it legally or
They
not?
cannot. I'm sorry to say, senators, you cannot block it because this
they
is
cannot
coming
block it.
from the people. There is nothing in the Constitution that says that you have the ability to block it. You cannot. This is coming from the people. I support it myself. I support it. So do so many other
So
people.
malaking chance it will push through with or without the Senate.
They got the signatures and
How many percent na daw narinig mo?
well, the 12% nga eh. Now, I think they've reached it already, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, for me, it's like this. The thing about the People's Initiative is, ideally, if it happens, then yes, it forces the Senate to be joined together with the Congress. Why? With the House. Why? Well, traditionally, since the 1987 Constitution, the Senate has always been blocking constitutional reform. May mga magagandang panukala galing sa Kamara, and the people from the House, from the lower house, are representatives of different sectors and constituencies. People from the Senate, they do not have any constituencies. They are mini presidents voted at large nationwide. So they do not have, unlike in the USA, where senators
Federal, state.
come
Federal.
from the states. Sa atin wala eh, lahat naka national nationwide Di ba? So name recall talaga ang nangyayari. Kahit magaling ka, hindi ka naman kilala, hindi ka mananalo. So yun ang nangyayari sa sistema natin. Ang nangyayari, may nagiging kayabangan. I'm sorry to say sa mga senator, nagkakaroon ng certain kayabangan ng marami sa kanila na gusto nilang i-block ang any attempt to make even one small slight change sa Constitution.
Were you blocked during the hearings? Were you blocked during the hearings?
I don't know.
No, when you were talking sa Senate, did they nag-o-oppose sila? Marami.
Hindi naman yung senators ang nag-ano. Kasi yung nasa committee hearings, mga
lower
mga
house.
pro naman sila.
Yes, yes.
Pero yung, so of course, dun sa tawag nito, sa House, may mga taga-makabayad block na na kumukontra, pero unfortunately mga makalumang pag-iisip yung mga lumalabas sa kanilang mga bibig. So
Ayaw din nila.
unfortunately, pero hindi nila alam. Actually, mas nakakabuti to para sa mga manggagawang Pilipino kung dumami ang mga trabaho, dumami ang mga kumpanya, ang mga ordinaryong mga magsasaka at ordinaryong manggagawa ay magkakaroon ng choice. Ay, dito sa company A, mababa magpasweldo, pero may company B at saka C, matataas magpasweldo. Doon na lang kami.
How many percent chance magiging successful sa tingin mo ang People's Initiative? How do you forecast? Some percentage.
I'm sorry, I really can't.
But you have high hope.
I have high hopes that it can push through.
May deadline ba yan? May timetable sila?
I really don't know.
Yes.
Because I'm not really connected
yes.
with the people pushing for it. But
There's a question here from editor of Manila
Aaron.
Times.
So my focus is mainly on the economic aspect. Although, okay, that's my department. Although, I do follow the political side, no? Of course, we all know many Filipinos complain about the low cost of living, low inflation, etc. Becoming OFW. So, okay. Although I know already, but for the benefit of Ryan, can you explain to them why this will help make things better economically? No? So how will this lessen OFWs and help develop the country?
great, thanks for that, Aaron. If we remove the anti-foreign direct investment restrictions, we send a signal to the international community, the international business community, that the Philippines is serious about wanting foreign direct investors and multinational companies, global companies, and international investors to come into the Philippines. Pag ginawa natin, pag tinanggal natin yung mga restrictions na yan, parang sinasabi natin, parang ina-announce natin sa buong mundo, we are open for business, we welcome you totally. Ganun ang nangyayari. We're welcoming you. Pag dumating yung mga foreign investors na yan, magke-create sila ng mga jobs. They will set up businesses, they will set up offices, they will set up factories. And then, dun pa lang sa paggagawa ng mga pabrika, magdadami yung mga construction projects. Dun pa lang sa pagkatapos ng construction projects, mag-hire sila ng mga empleyado. So, kung maraming mga trabaho, magle-lessen yung unemployment problems natin. Eventually, ang gusto nating mangyari is dumami ang mga trabaho such that mas maraming trabaho, mas maraming job opening kaysa sa mga manggagawa at mga taong naghahanap ng trabaho. Para magkaroon ng choices. Makakapagpili ang ordinaryong manggagawa na kung sinestress ako nitong kumpanya ko dun sa ikabila, mas mataas ang sweldo, mas less ang stress, lilipat ako. Ngayon, maraming tao walang choice na lumipat, titiisin na lang nila kasi kung umalis sila sa trabaho, wala silang makukuha ng trabaho. Pero kung ang daming mga job openings, ikaw, kampante ka na sa umaga, nag-resign ka, sa hapon may mahahanap kang bagong trabaho kasi ang daming openings. Di ba? Yun ang nangyayari sa mga katulad ng Singapore. Mas maraming trabaho kaysa sa mga citizens nila. Yun ang gusto natin mangyari. And that will help the economy because of the law of supply and demand. When there are more jobs than job seekers, tumataas ang sweldo dahil nagkakaroon ng competition ang mga kumpanya. Ay, dito na lang kayo sa amin magtrabaho, wag doon. Mas mataas kami magpasweldo, blah, blah, blah. Ganyan ang mangyayari.
So totoo ba, we are more communistic in our foreign policies, foreign investment policies than a supposedly communist country like Vietnam and China?
Yes, unfortunately.
Mas communistic, no?
Mas
Totoo yun.
communistic tayo. Actually, itong China and Vietnam, no?
Are more open to
They're
foreign
more
investment.
open to foreign investors. I mean, itong si Tong Xiaoping, dating November of 1978, bumisita yan sa Singapore. Tapos, na-impress siya. Bakit ang daming mga trabaho?
Totoo ba 100% pwede pang-public sa China and Vietnam?
Well, to begin with,
I
in
heard.
China and in Vietnam, wala silang economic restrictions sa loob ng kanilang constitution.
Walang 60-40
Walang
requirement.
60-40 sa kanilang
Basta
constitution.
mag-public ka, mag-hire ka ng
Pwede,
tao.
pwede. I mean, they also have some restrictions also. However, whatever restrictions they have, nasa legislation lang. Wala sa constitution.
Hindi forever.
Hindi, they can tweak it.
Yes.
Tayo kasi sa Pilipinas, sa kayabangan natin dati, or sa siguro pagiging sobrang praning natin, linagay natin sa ating konstitusyon yung mga restrictions. Eh ngayon, hindi natin mabago. Hindi natin mabago. Ito kung ikaw ay madalas kang nagsisipilyo, di ba? Every meal, magsisipilyo ka. Saan mo ilalagay ang sipilyo? Sa loob ng, dun sa harap lang ng basin? Kung mga nandyan lang, para ready ka, sisipilyo ka agad, sisipilyo ka. Or, ilalagay mo sa loob ng safe mo. Tapos yung safe mo yung hindi lang sa gaganyan-ganyanin mo, meron pang mata, meron pang fingerprint, tapos meron pang 5 minutes na hintay bago siya bubukas. Yun yung punto ko.
Magandang analogy.
Kada gamit mo ng sipilyo mo, pupunta ka sa safe mo. Hindi, naka-ready dapat yan, na nandyan, nakahanda kasi gagamit ka eh. Dito, ang laws natin dapat dynamic. Kapag economics, dapat dynamic. Huwag mong ilalagay sa konstitusyon. Tayo lang ang siraulong naglagay ng ganyan sa loob ng ating saligang batas.
Para sa sibilya.
Tayo lang. Kaya pagdating sa UNCTAD rankings, tayo po ang third in the world in terms of restrictiveness against foreign direct investors. In Asia, we are the worst. East Asia, we are the worst. In Southeast Asia, we are the worst. So, huwag kayong magtataka bakit ang Pilipinas napaka-dependent sa pagpapadala ng mga OFW sa iba't ibang bansa. Tapos ang mga OFW natin, na mga graduates, mga may maganda sanang engineer ganyan, nagiging maid, nagiging construction worker lang. 'Di ba? Tapos naaabuso pa. Hindi pa dapat sapat na wake up call 'yan yung mga pag may kabaong na dumarating dahil na abuso na 'di ba? That should long ago pa dapat nakita natin 'yan na hindi magandang situation to yung nagpapadala tayo ng mga ordinaryong Pilipino na maging OFW sa ibang bansa in huge droves when it's better to bring in investors from abroad to come to the Philippines to create jobs.
Thank you.
Diba?
May tanong pa dito in reaction to both of you. Ano daw reaction nung speaker, sabi nung isang journalist, to the Senate manifesto abandoning the resolution of both houses, RB 86. Paki-explain anong tanong ito, anong RB 86, and their rejection of PI. Do you consider this a major setback for your long-time advocacy? Tanong ito by journalists watching us via Zoom.